What if the secret to a longer, more vibrant life, a life teeming with energy, clarity, and profound physical resilience, wasn't locked away in an expensive, sterile clinic or encapsulated within a complicated, multisyllabic pill bottle, but was instead patiently waiting for you in the gossamer thin veil of the first 5 minutes after you wake up? Imagine, for a moment, the sheer transformative power held within that fleeting window of time. Imagine that for the price of just 300 seconds, a tiny, almost insignificant fraction of your day, you could be actively and consciously deciding whether you live another 5, 10, or even 30 more years. Not merely as a spectator to your own decline, but as a robust and active participant in a life of purpose and strength. This is not a fanciful promise of magic pills, a fountain of youth discovered in a forgotten jungle, or the high-risk gamble of experimental surgery. This is a simple, elegant, yet profoundly powerful morning ritual, a secret that has been hidden in plain sight for centuries, backed by the accumulated wisdom of ancient Shaolin traditions, practices forged in the crucible of discipline and self-mastery, and now, in our modern age, being overwhelmingly confirmed by the rigorous, evidence-based discoveries of contemporary science. It is a method, a daily discipline that can methodically protect your most vital organ, the heart. It can sharpen the intricate pathways of your mind, warding off the fog of cognitive decay, and it can build a veritable fortress of physical strength that will carry you with grace and power far beyond the arbitrary milestone of age 65. If you currently wake up feeling perpetually tired, as if sleep were a debt you could never repay, if your body feels stiff and uncooperative, a cage of aches and limitations, rather than a vessel of freedom, or if your mind is lost in a persistent mental fog, struggling to grasp thoughts that once came with ease, then consider this your most urgent and compassionate warning. But more importantly, far more importantly, consider it your second chance, an invitation to reclaim your own vitality. The very moment your eyes flutter open, before the world has a chance to impose its demands upon you, your body, your brain, and your spirit all pause in a state of profound potential, awaiting your first command. That single, initial command, issued in the sacred quiet of the dawn, will set the trajectory for your entire day and cumulatively for the rest of your life. It will determine whether you age with the magnificent grace and indomitable power of a mighty oak, or whether you passively surrender to a slow, steady, and predictable decline into frailty and irrelevance. The choice in these first 5 minutes is irrevocably yours. Watch the first ritual, a lifeline in a glass. When you awaken from what you perceive as a restful night, you may feel refreshed on the surface, a sense of having rebooted your consciousness. However, deep within the intricate microscopic machinery of your 70 trillion cells, a quiet and insidious crisis is unfolding. Throughout the long hours of the night, as you breathed rhythmically and dreamt your dreams, your body was engaged in a continuous and unavoidable process of insensible water loss. With every single exhalation, you expelled precious water vapor into the air, and through the subtle perspiration of your skin, more moisture was wicked away from your system, leaving you, by the time your alarm clock sounds, in a significant state of clinical dehydration. For a vast majority of people, the first instinct upon waking is to stumble towards the siren call of a coffee maker, seeking the jolt of caffeine to blast away the lingering grogginess. This is a critical and tragically common physiological mistake. Coffee is a potent diuretic, a substance that actively signals your kidneys to expel more fluid, thereby exacerbating the very problem you are trying to solve. Others, perhaps in a rush, skip fluids altogether, launching into their day on an empty and parched system. In these crucial early morning hours, the consequences of this dehydration are dire. Your blood, which is over 90% water, has literally thickened from the lack of fluid. Its viscosity has increased, transforming it from a freely flowing river into something more akin to a sluggish, dense sludge. This forces your heart, your body's tireless engine, to pump with a dramatically greater and more strenuous effort, simply to circulate this thickened blood through the 60,000 miles of your vascular network. This immense, unnatural strain placed upon the cardiac muscle is precisely the reason why epidemiological studies consistently show that heart attacks and strokes are most common in the morning, creating a particularly high-risk window for anyone over the age of 65, whose cardiovascular systems may already be compromised. The remedy, a powerful countermeasure to this silent threat, is as profound in its effect as it is simple in its execution. The very moment you wake, before any food, coffee, or any other substance touches your lips, you must mindfully and deliberately drink 1 full glass of room temperature or slightly warm water, enhanced with the freshly squeezed juice of a quarter of a lemon. The warmth of the water is absolutely crucial. Consuming cold water first thing in the morning sends a shockwave through your system, causing your blood vessels to constrict and your digestive tract to seize up, which is the exact opposite of what your waking body desperately needs. It needs to open, to expand, to flow. The humble lemon, a fruit often taken for granted, offers a potent alchemical boost to this morning elixir. It provides a significant dose of potassium, an electrolyte essential for heart function and fluid balance, a blast of immune-supporting vitamin C, and unique flavonoid compounds that actively support your liver in its monumental task of flushing out the metabolic byproducts and toxins it worked so diligently all night to filter and process. This single, simple glass of warm lemon water acts as a gentle alarm clock for your entire digestive system, awakens your metabolism from its slumber, restores vital, life-giving flow to your entire circulatory network, and most critically, eases the dangerous and unnecessary burden on your heart. Do not underestimate this silent, humble, healing act. It is not merely about quenching thirst. It is a conscious act of self-preservation, a daily renewal of your body's most fundamental and life-sustaining element. Wurtao, the second ritual, awakening the body. After spending 6, 7, or 8 hours in a state of relative stillness, your body is simply not prepared for the sudden, explosive demands of a modern day. To leap out of bed and immediately rush into your routine is to treat your body like a crude machine, rather than the sophisticated, intelligent, biological organism that it is. During the night, while you were lying horizontally, the force of gravity caused your blood to settle and pool in your lower extremities and your torso, leaving your brain with a less than optimal supply. Your joints, having been mostly immobile, have stiffened, and your overall circulation has slowed to a resting crawl. This physiological state is the primary culprit behind the common and disorienting experiences that so many older adults face upon rising. A wave of dizziness, a precarious sense of being off balance, or a frustratingly persistent mental fog that clouds judgment and slows reaction time. The common, unthinking response is to simply force the body into action, to drag this machine that is not yet primed into the battlefield of the day. This is not the way of discipline, wisdom, and awareness. We do not attack the day, we align ourselves with it. We greet it with intention. Therefore, before you even take a single step away from your bed, you must dedicate a single focused minute to this gentle circulatory awakening. Begin by planting your feet firmly on the floor, about shoulder width apart, creating a stable and grounded base. Take a deep, cleansing breath, inhaling slowly through your nose and feeling the air fill every corner of your lungs. As you inhale, simultaneously raise your arms high above your head, reaching for the ceiling, feeling your lungs expand to their full capacity and your spine gently lengthen and decompress. As you exhale slowly through your mouth, lower your arms with control, releasing the accumulated physical and energetic tension of sleep. Next, focus on your upper body, the area where so much stress resides. Roll your shoulders backward in a large, deliberate circle 5 times, and then reverse the motion, rolling them forward 5 times, consciously inviting fluid movement back into the tight muscles of your upper back and neck. Then, gently and without any forcing, rotate your neck from side to side, as if looking over each shoulder, feeling the subtle stretch. To complete this 1-minute ritual, Perform 10 slow and deliberate heel raises, rising up onto the balls of your feet and then lowering back down. This final movement is particularly powerful as it activates your calf muscles, often referred to as your body's second heart, which act as a powerful pump to propel the pooled blood from your lower legs back up towards your heart and, crucially, your brain. These small, intentional, seemingly minor movements are in fact a profound communication system. They are a clear signal to your brain and your entire nervous system that the day is beginning with order and control. They effectively reset your circulation, sending a fresh, invigorating wave of oxygen-rich blood to your mind, instantly restoring a sense of balance to your limbs, sharpening your focus, and infusing your cells with a clean, natural energy. This 1 minute of conscious movement can dramatically reduce your risk of a morning fall or a cardiovascular event like a stroke, boost your mental clarity for hours, and elevate your mood by stimulating the release of positive neurochemicals. This is not strenuous exercise, it is the ancient and sacred art of awakening. The third ritual, fortifying your strength. Your body is now hydrated, your circulatory system has been gently reawakened, and your blood is flowing more freely. However, a silent, invisible enemy is already at work. An enemy that is particularly relentless for those over the age of 65. This insidious enemy is a metabolic process known as catabolism. After a long overnight fast of 8 to 12 hours, your body's readily available energy stores, in the form of glycogen, are severely depleted. In a desperate and instinctual search for fuel to power your brain and basic bodily functions, your system begins to break down its own precious muscle tissue. This process is accelerated by the fact that cortisol, the primary stress hormone, is naturally at its peak level in the morning. Cortisol's functions include signaling the body to break down protein stores, your muscles, into amino acids, which are then converted into glucose for energy, a process called gluconeogenesis. Without an immediate and accessible source of external fuel, your body will literally start to eat away at your own strength, sacrificing long-term vitality for short-term energy needs. Year after year, decade after decade, this slow internal erosion of muscle mass, a condition known as sarcopenia, leads to profound weakness, a debilitating state of frailty, a loss of metabolic health, and a dramatically increased risk of life-altering falls and bone fractures. The third ritual is your non-negotiable shield against this inexorable decline: early and strategic nourishment. Within 30 minutes of waking, and ideally after completing the first two rituals, you must provide your body with a source of clean, high-quality, and easily digestible protein. This does not need to be a heavy, elaborate, time-consuming breakfast. The goal is not to feel stuffed, but to provide a specific biochemical signal. It can be as simple as a small protein shake made with a high-quality whey or plant-based protein powder mixed with water. It can be 2 hard-boiled eggs, which are a perfect self-contained package of complete protein and essential nutrients. It could be a few heaping spoonfuls of plain Greek yogurt, perhaps mixed with a scoop of unflavored protein powder for an extra boost. The key is not the quantity, but the impeccable timing and the quality of the source. This one simple act, when practiced with unwavering consistency, has been scientifically shown in longitudinal studies to reduce age-related muscle loss by as much as 60% over a 5-year period. But the benefits extend even further. Providing your body with protein first thing in the morning has a powerful stabilizing effect on your blood sugar for the entire day. It blunts the insulin response to any carbohydrates you might consume later, preventing the notorious mid-morning energy crash and significantly reducing cravings for unhealthy, sugary, and processed foods that so often sabotage long-term health goals. Furthermore, it provides the essential amino acids your brain needs to synthesize neurotransmitters like dopamine and acetylcholine, which are crucial for focus, motivation, and cognitive performance. You don't need a full breakfast right away, but you absolutely must feed your strength before the day has a chance to steal it from you. This is not about indulgence. It is about strategic preservation of your most valuable physical asset. Maimons, the fourth ritual, the gift of graceful movement. We now turn our attention to a practice that the vast majority of people, especially as they age, neglect entirely. Yet it could very well be the single most important factor that separates the elders who fall and break a hip from the elders who are still able to dance, garden, and play with their grandchildren. This is the sacred practice of mobility, the art of maintaining the full fluid and pain-free range of motion in your joints. After a long night of stillness, your joints are essentially dry. The synovial fluid, which is the body's natural lubricant that fills the joint capsule and allows the smooth cartilage-covered ends of your bones to glide effortlessly against each other, becomes thick, viscous, and sluggish. Think of it like engine oil that has grown cold and gummy overnight. If you try to force large, powerful movements, like standing up quickly or bending over to pick something up, without first warming up and thinning this precious fluid, you are creating a high-friction environment within your joints. Your bones can literally grind against each other, causing microtrauma to the cartilage, leading to a cascade of inflammation, the development of chronic pain, and over time, irreversible damage in the form of osteoarthritis. This painful and debilitating fate is not an inevitable consequence of aging. It is a direct consequence of neglect, and it can be almost entirely prevented in just 90 seconds of gentle, mindful movement each morning. Immediately after your circulatory awakening ritual, while still sitting on the edge of your bed or standing with support, begin to gently and intentionally mobilize your major joints. Start at the foundation, your ankles. Slowly rotate each ankle in a circle 10 times in one direction and then 10 times in the other. This simple motion is critical for maintaining balance and preventing the falls that are so devastating in later life. Then, bring your attention to your knees, gently bending and straightening them a few times, or performing gentle rotations if comfortable. Stand up, holding onto a sturdy chair or a wall for support, and slowly, gently twist your torso from left to right, feeling the movement originate from your spine. Lean your body gently from side to side, creating a long, pleasant stretch along your rib cage. Finally, repeat the shoulder rolls from your earlier ritual, perhaps making the circles even larger and more deliberate. These are not workouts, they are invitations. They are gentle whispers to your joints, not aggressive commands. With each careful rotation and stretch, you are telling your body, I honor your years and I will not abuse your structure. I will prepare you for the day ahead. You are warming up that precious synovial fluid, ensuring that it thins out and coats the joint surfaces, allowing them to move with the smooth, gliding ease for which they were designed. Mobility is, in the most literal sense, freedom. When you lose it, you lose your independence, your ability to navigate the world on your own terms. But when you practice it daily, you are investing in a future where you walk into each new day with balance, with confidence, and with the unmistakable grace of a body that is cared for and respected. Toyo. The fifth ritual, forging a resilient mind. You have meticulously hydrated your cells, awakened your circulation, fortified your muscles against decay, and lubricated your joints for a day of graceful movement. You have attended to the physical vessel with discipline and care. But what of the captain of this vessel, the mind? If your thoughts are consistently clouded, if your memory is becoming a frustratingly leaky sieve, if you feel perpetually anxious, scattered, or overwhelmed by the complexity of modern life, then all the physical vitality in the world means precious little. A strong body with a weak mind is a ship with a broken rudder, adrift on the seas of time. And so, for the final and perhaps most sacred of the 5 morning rituals, before the cacophony of emails, news alerts, and worldly demands comes rushing in to hijack your attention, you will take one single, uninterrupted minute for the cultivation of mental clarity and resilience. Sit in a comfortable upright position, either on the edge of your bed or in a chair. Close your eyes, take a few slow, deep breaths, and allow yourself to settle into the quiet of the moment. Then, begin to remember the day that has just passed, but with a specific and crucial twist. You will do it in reverse chronological order. Start with the very last thing you did before you fell asleep. Perhaps it was turning off the lamp. Then, Recall what you were doing just before that. Reading a book? What was it about? Then move backward in time to brushing your teeth. Recall dinner. What did you eat? What did it taste and smell like? Who did you speak to in the afternoon? Recall the conversation. What did you see on your walk? What was the color of the sky? What did you feel emotionally at that moment? Continue this process, moving backward through your day in as much sensory detail as you can muster, all the way back to the moment you woke up the previous morning. This simple yet profoundly effective practice does something extraordinary for your brain. It actively builds and reinforces what neuroscientists call cognitive reserve. Cognitive reserve is your brain's backup generator, its functional and structural ability to stay strong, sharp, and adaptive in the face of age-related changes or even neurological disease. It is the buffer that allows some individuals to maintain high cognitive function even with the biological markers of dementia present in their brains. An ever-growing body of research now confirms that people who engage in this kind of effortful, active recall on a daily basis maintain their mental acuity, their memory, and their problem-solving skills for far longer into their lives. Their minds remain flexible, plastic, and resilient even when the minds of their peers begin to show signs of failure. This is not just a memory training exercise. It is a profound act of presence and self-awareness. It is a gesture of deep respect for the life you have just lived, for the day that has just passed. It is a powerful signal to your own mind that you are awake, you are aware, you are paying attention, and you are still actively learning from your own experience. It anchors you in your own story and prepares your mind for a day of focused, intentional engagement. Duck's Bros, the power of 5 minutes. Now you know the secret. A secret not of complexity but of elegant simplicity. 5 minutes meticulously broken down into 5 intentional life-affirming steps. Hydration to cleanse and flow, movement to awaken and oxygenate, nourishment to fortify and preserve, mobility to liberate and protect, and clarity to sharpen and strengthen. They are simple on the surface, they are gentle in their application, and yet they are profoundly and exponentially powerful in their cumulative effect. The world, with its relentless marketing of anti-aging creams and quick-fix solutions, may try to tell you that aging is an unavoidable, linear decline into obsolescence, that growing older means inevitably growing weaker, more forgetful, and more fragile. But that is a pervasive and insidious lie, a narrative told by those who have surrendered their personal power, by those who do not understand the bedrock principles of discipline, and by those who do not believe in the fundamental power of daily, conscious choice. You, my friend, still possess that power. You still have a choice every single morning of your life. You can continue to begin your day in a state of rush and chaos, scattered and drained, allowing your precious vitality to slowly and predictably unravel over the next 5, 10, or 20 years. Or you can make a different choice. You can choose to rise like the masters of old, like the Shaolin, calm, centered, focused, and filled with a quiet, unshakable internal strength that radiates outward. You can choose to honor these 5 minutes as a sacred and non-negotiable appointment with your own well-being, and in return for this small investment, gain back not just years of life, but life in your years, decades more of clarity, connection, purpose, and control. Tomorrow morning, before the world begins to call your name, before the digital devices light up and the responsibilities of the day begin to crowd your mind, take back those first 5 minutes for yourself. Stand tall in the quiet dawn, drink your water slowly and with intention, move your body gently and with respect, eat your protein with the purpose of building strength, and remember your life with gratitude and presence. These are not small, insignificant, throwaway moments. They are, without exaggeration, the most powerful and formative minutes of your entire day. And practiced over a lifetime, they will perhaps prove to be the most powerful minutes of your entire life. If you are sitting there now wondering where to begin, feeling overwhelmed by the prospect of 5 new habits, the answer is simple: just begin. You do not need to master all 5 steps at once. Start with 1. Let that single act, perhaps the glass of warm lemon water, become your anchor, your one non-negotiable act of self-care. When that feels effortless, add the second. Then build from there, brick by brick, until your new foundation is unshakable. Let your morning become a sacred ritual, a time of honoring your body, your breath, and your being. You are not here on this earth merely to survive your later years. You are here to thrive in them, with peace in your heart, with strength in your body, and with wisdom in your mind. The power is, and always has been, in your hands.